everybody, and welcome to the Marley Bird YouTube channel, brought to you by Red Heart Yarns. This is week 3 of the Abstractly Chic Shawl, which is the 2018 crochet along that I host, sponsored by Red Heart Yarns. This crochet along uses my very own yarn, Chic Sheep by Marley Bird, which is available online at redheart.com or in stores right now. So make sure you go and check it out. There are 24 beautiful colors. Now, most of you know exactly what it is we're making, the Abstractly Chic Shawl, but I will pop a picture up right there so that way you can see exactly what it is we've been working on. As I mentioned, this is week 3, which means you have already completed week 1 and week 2, and we are in the home stretch. We are going to make the left side of this shawl, and the great news is that you've already used these stitches. The only difference is that we are going to now decrease stitches instead of increase as we did on the opposite side. So if you would like to follow along with the instructions, those are always available for free. The link to the instructions is in the video description box right down there below. And as always, while you're down there, please smash that like button, as my kids say. I get such a kick out of it when you guys tell me you like my videos. It means a lot to me. It lets me know that I'm doing a pretty good job. Once you have the instructions to follow along and you have your homework completed, let's go ahead and jump into the left side instructions. When I left you at the end of week 2, it was to complete this center panel, correct? So this center panel is a series of single crochets and the chain 1 spaces and some chain 2 spaces. Hopefully yours looks very similar to this. You kind of have this ghost of an outline with all of those chain 1 spaces. And it's time to actually move to this side of the shawl. So let's move this real quick. I want to bring in the actual sample. So this was week 1. As we all remember. This center panel, as I just mentioned, is week 2. We will go in next week and fill in all of these top stitch, slip stitch cables here. And so now we're on this side of the shawl. And one thing that you might have noticed or might not have noticed from the pictures is that this side of the shawl is actually made in this direction. Whereas this side here was made from bottom up. This side is from right here to this way. So if I kind of move this up a little bit here, when we were down here, we started right there and we did increases along this line. Over here, we are going to be working along this side with many stitches, and we will work decreases along this line. Our goal is to make it so that both sides are symmetrical. Now, having said that, say you decided you wanted to go a little bit rogue and make one side really, really dynamic and really asymmetrical compared to the other side and have a really nice different kind of wrap, you absolutely could do that. What I'm trying to say is you could have some creativity here. My goal when I was designing this shawl was to make both sides as even as possible. And to do so, I calculated out exactly how many V stitches we need to create on the side of the cable panel, and then how we need to work our decreases in order to get down to where we just have the few stitches down here at the end. So your goal for week 3 is actually to finish this entire side. You will change colors just as you did over here in this section. So there's nothing new there. You already know this V-stitch. It's exactly what you did up here and down here. So there's nothing new there. The only thing new is the very simple decrease. So let's go ahead and get started. The first part of instructions say to turn your work 90 degrees. So we are going to turn our work 90 degrees and we want to work down along this edge. Now you want to work with the same color you just finished with, okay? So we're still using color A. For the videos, I am changing colors, that way you can better see how I'm making these stitches. So you don't have to do this at home, but I'm going to do it here for the video purposes. All right, I have my new color ready to go, and let's get started. Working along this edge of the cable panel, you want to single crochet 88 stitches. That's right, 88 stitches. Even though we did 90 stitches on the opposite side, the way this pattern works, and to make sure that the stitch count works evenly to have both sides work out, you need to do 88. Now, I'm not going to go through how you can section this off because it's exactly how I taught you to do this over here in week 2. If you need help with that, go ahead and go check out the week 2 video. But what we want to do here is just put a single crochet all the way down and make sure that you get 88 single crochets. Now I am just going around the entire single crochet when I work down my path here. And if mine were the same size as yours, I'd be making sure I'd get 88. And if I needed to skip one or two or do something or stack up, whatever I need to do just to get those single crochets as evenly spaced as possible, that's what I want to do. Now, the other thing is, you'll notice I'm literally working around the entire stitch. I prefer to do that for various things. I'll try it out. I'll try out different ways of actually joining yarn to the edge of something. But for this project, I thought it just looked really nice and clean just to work along those edges, okay? So we want to make sure you get 88 stitches. Go ahead and work your 88 stitches, and then we'll move to the next part. I just finished the number of single crochet I needed to finish the side of my work. I'll go ahead and turn, and I will chain 4, 2, 3, whoops, and 4. That chain 4 counts as a double crochet chain 1, which is half of an actual V-stitch. So we will carry on with the instructions by putting a double crochet in that first single crochet, and that has a completed V-stitch right there, okay? Now we've hit the part of the instructions where there is a star, so we know that that means this is the part that we will be coming back to work our repeat. We will skip 2 single crochet, and then in the next single crochet we will work a V-stitch. So there's 1 double, chain 1, and 1 double, all into the same stitch. Skip 2, V-stitch in the next. You place a V-stitch in the very last stitch of your row. So now your work right here, you should have a total of 30 V-stitches all the way down. Pretty easy, right? This is where we begin our shaping. This is where we are going to work our decreases in order to create that really nice angle at the side of our shawl. Row 2 begins by having us turn our work. That actually, the end of row 3 has us turn. And we start off with a chain 3. Pretty similar to how we've been doing the other side, right? And now we will go ahead and place our V-stitches between the V-stitches that we just created. You will do this all the way down to the last 2 V-stitches of the row. When you get to the last 2 V-stitches, we have to work a decrease, okay? Because this is the edge we're going to begin doing our decrease shaping. So I need to work into the space between these 2 V-stitches, but I also need to give myself a nice angle right here. And in order to do that, I will start by working a double crochet between those 2 V-stitches, just like I've been doing before. I will work a chain 1. And now the next double crochet, I will actually work a double crochet 2 together. So I will yarn over my hook, go into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over my hook, go into the 3rd chain of my turning chain here. Okay, remember this has 4 chains, so I don't want to go to the one right next to that. I want to go 1 over, go into it, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2. So I have 3 loops on my hook. I yarn over and draw through all 3. And what that does is that will pull in this edge, and it allows us to finish here with this V-stitch, okay? Because this double crochet 2 together ends with 1 stitch, but I've incorporated this edge. Because this is a vital stitch for this entire section, I want to show you how to do that one more time. Let me go ahead. I'm going to take this out. And let's go all the way back to right here, okay? So we're at the last 2 V-stitches of our row. I will go ahead, work a double crochet between those V-stitches, work a chain 1, and now I have to do the double crochet 2 together. So I yarn over my hook, go into that space between the 2 V-stitches, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, and stop. So I've partially completed a double crochet. Now I want to complete another partial double crochet over here, working into the 3rd chain of our turning chain. So I yarn over my hook, go into that 3rd chain, yarn over my hook, pull up a loop, yarn over my hook, and draw through 2. So I have a partial double crochet there and a partial double crochet there. 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, and draw through all 3 loops. That has us finish off there with just one little V at the top, right? So that lets us know there's only 1 stitch, but I have worked an edge right there, so that way it's nice and clean. If I didn't do this double crochet 2 together, I'd get a jagged edge, and we don't want that. We want a nice clean edge for this shawl, right? So once you've done that, you would then go ahead, move on to row 3. So we turn our work. Row 3 has us begin with a chain 3 this time, 1, 2, 3, and then we will V-stitch in between these 2 V-stitches, okay? So let's go ahead and do our V-stitch right here. And we're going to take a look. Can you see how it's already beginning to get this nice curve? This chain 3 right here represents the partial double crochet sort of right there that we did with this double crochet 2 together. See how it's allowing this edge to curve? Just as when we worked over here along this part, we always had some sort of a shaping going on down here, okay? And so we're doing the same thing over here. We will always have a decrease along this edge. When you're working down towards the edge, you have your decrease with your double crochet 2 together. When you're working back, your decrease is simply by doing the chain 3 and then skipping over and working your V-stitch right there. And that's it, you guys. You know everything you need to know to finish this side if you've been following along with the crochet along. You know how to do the single crochets. You know how to do V-stitches. You just learned how to do the double crochet 2 together, and you already know how to change colors. Go ahead and complete this entire side of your work. When you're done, I want you to go ahead and take the time and weave in your ends right now. Get that part done before we move on to next week's section work. So you're almost complete with this really fun shawl. I hope you're having a great time. I'm so proud of all of you Marley's minions out there who are helping each other and encouraging each other with section 2. I know it was a little bit tricky. It's simple stitches, but it is just a little bit tricky to have those chain 1 spaces and chain 2 spaces to line up. But you guys all rallied around one another, and it was really nice to see. I am loving all of the colors out there. So many of you are making 1 or 2 shawls, and it's just a lot of fun. So if you are not part of the Facebook group, I encourage you to go over there and join in because it is a lot of fun. And that is the Facebook group specifically for this crochet along. There are some wonderful people in there ready to help you out if you want to give this a try. Don't forget that we are using Chic Sheep by Marley Bird. If you haven't had a chance to pick this up, it is now available at Hobby Lobby and Joann's. So you make sure you check that out. And then as always, it's available at redheart.com. Okay, that's it for this week. Good luck, everybody. Make sure you tag me on social media so that way I can smash your like button. I'm Marley Bird, proud spokesperson for Red Heart Yarns. Bye. Everything you need to know about knitting or crochet can be found right here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. Learn with Marley Bird. Visit youtube.com/Marley Bird.